Alright, Andrew, this is going to be a little bit more confusing, but we're going to get through it. Alright, jQuery has what's called a... The object of this lesson here is to get the slideshow working. jQuery has a document.ready function. So we use the $, document, close that, and we have a .ready function. Okay? Just like up here, we said $, and then we're looking for a ID of info, and then we're doing a function tied to that. Well, this isn't an element. This is the whole document. Document.ready. Whenever the document is ready, in other words, it's done loading and everything's ready to go, we're going to do whatever's inside of here. And let's see here. Make sure I get this right. Yes, we're going to build a function here. All right, so we put a function. Function has the word function, and then it has two parentheses. We're not naming this function because it's going to be a self-inflicted function. It'll do it automatically. There's no parameters to pass, and we're going to put the code in here. So I enter down, and here's the code that's going to run whenever the document is ready. Now, whenever I made the slideshow, I got online and I looked up JavaScript slideshow. There are lots of different ways to do slideshows, and people have all kinds of crazy ways of doing them. I wanted a very simple, lightweight, only a few lines of code, and that's what I came up with. And you could add in like a next button and a previous button. I didn't want any of that. I just wanted to just scroll through whatever I had, and no one worries about it. So I went online and I found this guy who had this code. And so here's the line of code right here. And I just copied and pasted it. Okay, and now if you go back here to our HTML, go up here to slideshows, right here. We have the slideshow div with an ID of slideshow. Alright, so we go here and it's looking for that. Alright, and then greater than GT0, I have no clue what that means. I think the number of divs inside of it is more than 0. In other words, it actually has divs in it. That's what it's looking for, I'm guessing. And I'm going to hide them all. Alright, so I'm going to hide everything. By default, nothing's going to show up. Then there's a function inside of jQuery called setInterval. And here's what's inside of it. It takes two parameters. Number one, the function to do. And number two, again, here's the time delay. 10,000 milliseconds, which is 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds, it's going to do something. And it's going to slideshow div first, all right, and fade out. So in other words, the one that you're on right now, it's going to fade out, and it's going to take 2 seconds to fade out, and then it's going to go for the next one, right, the next div in line. So if I'm on one, this div here, I'm going to go straight to the next one. And then it's going to fade that one in. It takes 2 seconds to fade in. So these two are really happening, I think, at the same time. One's fading out, it takes 2 seconds. One's fading in 2 seconds. They kind of just merge into one another. And then I end. And then I append to the slideshow. Okay? Don't ask me all of what this means. I don't understand it myself. But like I said, I copied it from somebody. And it seems to work fine. So whenever the document is ready, I do understand that part of it. I'm going to run this block of code. Let's see if it works. There's my growth. There's my thing showed up. And after 10 seconds, my picture should change to the next image. There it went. Then it'll wait 10 seconds and it'll change to the next image. And this block of code here, loops through. After it gets to the end, it goes back to the first. There you go. All right, so that does the JavaScript for switching between these. All right. And I think we'll stop with the JavaScript. We're going to go back next video to main.css. And there's some things we need to change in CSS. For instance, when you minimize the screen, we get to a certain spot, like right there. Well, maybe a little farther, maybe right in there. Where if I go any farther, this is going to go off the screen. And pretty soon I'm going to lose the contact button. So if you remember, we made that whole other menu bar that doesn't have any choices on it, just has a button on the side, and then it brings up a menu bar in the middle and blurs everything else out on the outside. So there's some CSS that needs to be done, and then there's also some more JavaScript, but I think to make more sense out of this, we'll do the CSS first, and then we'll go back to the JavaScript after that. Okay, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. I know this is a little more intense with all this stuff, but you'll get it. You're pretty smart. Talk to you later.